All right, so today is number 4, right, in our series that we've been doing for hip opening. And I thought I would have us do quite a few, and we'll modify some of them but change them around a little bit because you know I like to do that. But I thought I would have us do quite a few of the seated parts of Ashtanga, which has a lot of hip opening. So we'll get into it differently than we do in Ashtanga. We're not going to do all those vinyasas and such.
Well, we're going to do some Ashtanga stuff?
Yeah, we'll do a lot of the seated stuff because that is all a whole bunch of hip opening. But before we can do hip opening, we got to just get our whole body warmed up. So let's start at the top of the mat.
Which means we're doing the part I don't like.
We're doing some sunnays. Okay, you may or may not like them. Let me encourage you to kind of take a bit of extra movement, especially in the first few sunnays. So you don't need me to tell you to pedal it out, or sometimes I do cat-cow motion no matter which of those postures I'm in. Just kind of get some moving going, because this is how we're going to warm up our bodies. So we'll start with Tadasana feet. Maybe that means big toes together, heels a little bit apart. Begin to engage in the belly, pulling it up and in. Hands down at your side, shoulders pulled back slightly. Think of a string at the top of your head pulling you up to this beautiful blue sky we have this morning. Either leave your hands at your side or bring them to heart center as you inhale. Stay here and exhale. Beginning to tap into our breath this morning. Inhale and exhale. One more time together. Inhale, linking our breath. Exhale, release your hands down to your side, Tadasana. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Gaze shifts when you're ready. Exhale, fold forward, allowing a lot of bend in the knees as you like. Maybe even finding a bit of wiggle. On an inhale, halfway lift up. Palm the mat, step back to the top of your push-up plank pose. Stay on the toes or drop to the knees, lower all the way or part way if you like chaturanga already, and inhale into your up dog or cobra. Downward facing dog, get there nice and gently. And remember, we're going to encourage some extra movement in this first down dog, which we're holding for 5 breaths. We won't hold them all for 5 breaths, but this first one we will. On your next inhale, look to the top of the mat. Let's walk our feet to hands and then lift halfway up. Exhale and fold. Again, the knees might stay quite generously bent. Inhale as you rise, reach up, whether you look up or not. Exhale, hands to your side. We've got 4 more sunnays. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift up. Palm the mat, step back to your plank. On the toes or on the knees, lower all the way or part way. On an inhale, open your chest. Exhale as you're ready into your down dog. 4 breaths. Finding stillness or continuing to take a bit of movement. On your next inhale, travel feet to the top of the mat, halfway lift up. Exhale and fold. Rise. And then hands to your side. 3 more. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift up. On the mat to take your vinyasa of choice. Getting a nice full inhale to open the chest. Down dog, 3 breaths. On your next inhale, travel to the top of the mat, halfway lift up. Exhale and fold. Rise, reach up, maybe the gaze shifts up. Hands to your side. Inhale, reach the arms right back up. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway halfway lift up. Take your vinyasa or whatever you're taking to downward facing dog. We'll be in that down dog for 2 breaths. Those are my 2, so once I get there, right? On your next inhale, travel to the top of the mat. Halfway lift up. Exhale and fold. Rise up, reach up. Hands to your side. Last one. Inhale it. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift up. Palm the mat for your vinyasa. We won't be in down dog very long this time. 1 full breath cycle. And then travel to the top of the mat. Halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale as you reach up overhead. Exhale, hands to your side. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Cactus the arms. Let's open the chest a bit more. So let the knees bend. Pull the elbows towards each other. Maybe your gaze can shift up. On an exhale, fold forward, straightening out the legs to your ability. Inhale, halfway lift up. Palm the mat, step back to the top of your push-up. Drop the right knee down to the ground. Side plank on the knee. Let's keep that bottom foot down on the ground, trying to ground that entire foot and reach the top arm overhead so you become a big rainbow. Reach towards me, yes. Big side stretch. All right, let's take that to the other side. So I'm gonna come back to plank first and then drop the other knee, kickstanding out. Keep that straight leg foot on the ground and then reach overhead with the other arm. Release back to your plank. You can vinyasa from here or straight to down dog. Down dog, let's reach the right leg to the sky, bend and stack, open up to the side. Hug your right knee in towards your nose. We're going to plant the foot halfway on the mat, halfway, so we can walk our hands back, drop the back heel, and we're going to come into our pyramid. Now we could keep that front leg bent a lot or straighten it out depending on your range of motion this morning for the moment. Maybe dropping your chin toward your shin. We have kind of a pistol squat transition to come to seated. So I'm going to do that by reaching just a little forward with my hands, bending my front knee generously so I can sweep my back leg through, and then keep going down in this squat until I can have a seat. I mean, it's a hip mobility challenge, right? So we're gonna do that a couple times and you can see where you're at with that. We have the right knee hugged into the chest. Maybe you're hugging with the arms, kind of finding that super tall upright spine. Resist the urge to bind. Resist the urge to bind. Instead, we're gonna reach the right arm up and then lean forward. And if we can, we'll place the back of our arm on the front of our shin.
But don't bind.
But no binding, because we're going to either keep our arms up and use those arms to push forward, or you could bring your fingertips to the ground. Either way, we're going to try to reach the chest forward and breathe, right? On your next inhale, let's come upright. Bring your right hand behind you. Take your left hand to your knee. Use that hand behind you to lengthen your spine and then twist to look over your back shoulder. Pull the belly in. Unwind, coming back to center. Cross that right ankle into figure 4. Flexing the right foot. Place your right hand under your knee so that you can press the knee down into the hand instead of pushing here. You're going to press into the hand to open up and It's always like, find the tall spine, right? Stay here upright with that tall spine or hinge forward like your ribs are gonna come to your shin, so it's a little ways. So I'm always doing this also where I sort of like crank my neck to look forward. You can always shift your gaze down so that you can lengthen the back of your neck. Inhale and come up. Listen up. Here's what we're gonna try for. We are gonna try for fire log pose, where we bend the bottom leg, and we keep that same figure 4 leg on the top. We're trying to keep the shins parallel. So my knee stays up. Some of you might connect with your foot depending on your range. We're just gonna stay in this nice tall spine, and then take a few rounds of cat-cow to your spine. We'll use that cat-cow to help open up the hips. Next time you come upright, let's unwind and take your legs back behind you so that you're in tabletop. Take 3 rounds of cat-cow. And then push into child's pose. Also a big hip and back opener, right? You might tent onto your fingertips. And then we'll slide it forward into puppy. Make the adjustments you need to if you don't want to come off your mat. We'll come forward into our heart opener, our back bend here, finding our puppy. Maybe forehead is on the ground, maybe chin, maybe chest. We're all going to be different here. We'll come out of our puppy posture into forearm plank. So I'm just gonna slide my torso forward, curl my toes, and bring my knees off the ground. I'm gonna hold this plank for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can either come up to tall plank from here and then down dog, or you can lower the hips, slide the hands back, open into your cobra, and then come to your down dog. Options. Other side, reach the left leg high to the sky. Bend and stack, open up. Hug the knee in towards your nose first. Foot halfway on the mat, so about halfway. Walk your hands back, drop that back heel, and we're leaning forward into our pyramid. Remember that front knee can stay quite bent. Begin to lengthen upright, coming through that pistol squat. And if that pistol squat is not going to work for you, here's an alternative. You step that back foot down, have a seat with it bent, and then you'll straighten it out. But some of you will work towards that pistol squat. Let's first have the left knee bent in, hugging it in, nice tall spine. We'll start right here. Reach the left arm overhead. No binding. We're gonna reach forward. Back of the arm makes connection here. Very good. And then you might ground your hands or not, but we're reaching the chest towards the right foot. And breathing, right? Begin to come upright. The left hand will come behind you, the right hand across to the knee. Use that back hand to lengthen the spine, and then find your twist. You'll look the other way, yes, over your back shoulder. Unwind as you come out. We're finding that figure 4 first. So cross the left leg into your figure 4, active foot. Hand underneath the knee, tall spine. Stay here or reach the chest forward. Maybe you gaze at your ankle so that you can lengthen your neck. Come upright. We'll find that fire log on this side. So bend the bottom leg. We're trying to keep the shins rather parallel. We'll stack the ankle onto the thigh and then a nice tall spine. Fire logs might be one of my least favorite things.
Mine too.
But cow face is right up there.
Oh.
Inhale and lengthen up, and then exhale and round. Take a couple rounds of your cat-cow. So a little movement to maybe make it more tolerable, but also I find a little movement helps to loosen me up. Next time you're upright, stay there. We'll take that leg back, come over into our tabletop. And instead of your traditional cat-cow, let's take a side-to-side cat-cow. So you might be looking at your hip as you turn side to side. And then press back and find your child's pose again. Make that active or reach the hands behind you if you prefer. Kind of explore what your body might need. And then we're going to come forward into puppy from here again. So come on forward, find your puppy opening. Into forearm plank as you come out. We hinge forward, curl the toes, forearm plank. I'm gonna hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2. You're gonna make your way to down dog, whether that's through a vinyasa, mindfully moving and adjusting, or not. From this down dog, let's come to the top of the mat. Walk, step, float if you like to. Lift halfway up once you're there. Exhale and fold. Rise, reach the arms up overhead. Let's find that cactus heart opening. So let the knees bend a little bit, kind of like a bum is sticking out, opening the chest. Come back to center. Maybe you choose to reach up first, and then hands to heart center. Take the right leg and hug it in towards your chest. So we're going to balance on the left foot, getting hip mobility on the right. With only a little bend in the standing leg, instead of doing like a full chair, we're going to take that leg into figure 4. All right, we're going to think about bringing that knee down in line with the other, pulling the belly in. Soft standing leg, but maybe not bent too much. Let's pull it back up. This time we'll keep it up. We'll use that hand on the ankle to take your leg into the lotus that you can come to. It might just be right here, or you might be able to take the heel in even more and drop the knee. But you're trying to get this sort of action here, depending on where you are. I'm gonna keep hold of that. Yeah, that looks good. You're just somewhere there. I agree, we've been standing on that left leg long enough. Let's release and wiggle it out. Okay, round into the right leg and then hug the left knee in. We want to hug it in nice and tight first. Tall spine. Figure 4 with only a softness in the knee, so we're trying to stay nice and straight. And then I'm actively pushing that knee down to open it so I can really look like it's in line with the other knee. We'll hug it back into the chest. And then we'll work to take that ankle up into the groin or hip crease area and come into your version of your half lotus here. This is everybody's good standing leg, I can tell. Let's come on out, back to hands at heart center. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale. Let's get back to down dog. Reach the arms up overhead. Fold forward. Halfway lift up. Take the vinyasa of your choice. adding whatever moves you prefer until we make your way to down dog. Inhale the right leg up, bend and stack, open to the side. Hug the knee into your nose. This time we'll step all the way to the top of the mat and drop the back knee. Inhale as you come up into your grounded lunge. Reach to the sky, drop the shoulders away from the ears. Pull the belly in and then sink the hips. Ooh, how much can we keep of that? And find your breath, right? We're headed into half heroes from here. So we'll bring our hands to the ground so that we can control what's happening. As we straighten the front leg, we're skipping that splits prep. Instead, we're gonna keep walking the hands back until your bum can have a seat. Now I'm gonna turn this way so you can see what this back leg is doing, or the bent leg. The heels should be kind of nestling close, and we're here mindfully because this might be a lot for knees. Inhale some length. First round, we're gonna fold towards that straight leg. Now we can have our hand out to the side here to help keep this left hip down, or we can bind with the foot. Take 2 more breaths. On your next inhale, come upright. We're gonna keep walking our hands behind us so that we can lie down and get that big stretch into our thigh muscle. Maybe we'll come down onto the forearms. Maybe you'll lie all the way down on the ground, really depending on your range of motion. If that feels pretty easy, you can reach the arms up overhead, clasp your elbows like ragdoll. That tends to increase the stretch on that left side. Take 2 more breaths wherever you're at. Whether you're lying down all the way or you're on your elbows, we're going to turn on to our right side. So we're going to release that leg by turning onto the right side. You might be lying all the way down. You might have your forearm on the ground. We're going to stack our legs, point our toes, stack our hips. Yeah, you're all kind of faced away from me. And then reach the other arm overhead at an angle. Pull the belly in. Right? I was like, when I tried this, I'm like, oh, I actually have to work to stay here. That's good. Take another breath. And then turn towards me, have a seat on the ground. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. On your exhale, fold forward. Any placement to bind, lengthen the spine, open the hamstrings and low back. On your inhale, come upright. And then let's cross over and do all of this on the other side. Vinyasa optional as you get to down dog. Left leg comes high, 3-legged, bend and stack, open to the side. Hug your knee in towards your nose. As you travel to the top of the mat with your foot, drop the back knee. Grounded lunge. Engage through the fingers, then pull the shoulder blades away from the ear. Pull the belly up and in, and then sink down into the hips. Taking ourselves into that half hero, so I'm going to place my hand on the ground so I can support myself as I walk it back, having a seat on the inside of the right heel. Make any adjustments you need, and when you're ready, fold over the left straight leg. On an inhale, come upright. We're going to keep walking backwards. Taking that as far as you're comfortable going. Might stay on the hands or the forearms or come all the way down. Maybe reach reaching overhead to clasp elbows if you need extra. And once again, we're going to come out of this by turning onto our side, this time towards the left. I just like to be on my forearm, so I'm going to do that. You could be on the side. I'm going to point my toes, stack everything, pull the belly in, and then reach overhead, just finding that balance on our side. And then turn to have a seat. This time we'll take Baddha Konasana feet, soles of the feet together. I'm just turning to face you guys. Let's open our feet like a book, tall spine. Okay, last time I gave this cue, we had like some super fast butterflies. So instead, I want you to think of nice, slow butterfly legs, like you're pulling up and you're pressing down and you're actively opening into those hip joints. And you're reaching the belly up and in to support your spine. And then you'll come to stillness wherever that is for you and hinge forward like you're going to place your belly or your ribs on your toes. Begin to come upright. Use your hands perhaps to help bring those knees all the way together and give yourself a nice hug. I know you think I'm about to head into Navasana, but I'm not even about to do that right now. Instead, I'm going to ask you to bring your hands behind you and then let your legs kind of windshield wiper back and forth, releasing the hips and the back. When you're ready, meet me in down dog. So you'll come over your legs through any vinyasa variation of your choice and into down dog. On your next inhale, reach the right leg up. Bend and stack, open up to the side. Hug your knee to your nose. We're going to go halfway when we put the foot down on the ground. Drop the back heel, come into your pyramid. Bent or straight front leg, you decide. Maybe we need to play in our pyramid, so we might bring our hands behind us with our fingers pointed away. And then start to come up onto the back toe. Press into the fingers and hug the knee into the chest. So it's like a floating pyramid. Well, we'll release that if we took it. Come through that pistol squat, or you're bringing your leg behind the front knee. But you know, I thought you all wanted another chance to try that transition. Was I right? Uh-huh, I was right. Okay, from here we're gonna take that tree leg. So the heel in close to the groin, the foot should be on the thigh. Inhale, length, rotate toward the straight leg, and fold over the straight leg. Settle into the hips, right? I often sort of find that right hip is up in the air. I'm gonna settle into it. Inhale as you come up. We're gonna take a semi-wild thing by bringing the right hand behind us and then coming up onto the shin. Maybe that top toes comes down to the ground. We reach over. Sit back down into that tree seat and then reach over and come down into that straight leg. And take it back and forth, back into that semi-wild thing. And then back to seated, stretching forward. One more time, because I know you all feel beautiful doing that, and you all look beautiful doing that. Feel like a dancer, and nobody should tell me otherwise. As you come out, we'll bring that right knee up and we'll take it across the body. So I'm leaving this front leg straight. You'll also know this position here, right? If you're not finding good balance. I'm gonna leave the front leg straight and find that super tall spine. and flex the left foot and find my spine even taller. Maybe I'm gonna reach behind and then begin to twist, but I wanna keep my ribs as close as I can to that raised knee. As you come back to center, you can drop that right knee open. You'll be right here in figure 4. Or you can play around with first closing the knee and then bringing your heel into that half lotus or towards half lotus. You decide what's okay for your knee. Don't do something just because I said it. Inhale some length. We're folding over either the figure 4 leg or the half lotus leg. We'll be here for 3 breaths and then we're going to come out of this side. Inhale and come up. Maybe you need to wiggle that knee out a bit. Then we'll come over our legs. Vinyasa optional. We'll meet in down dog. Remember, we might take cat-cow or child's pose briefly, kind of taking what you need for your vinyasa to recover, right? Recover some of the other postures we're doing. Left leg high. Bend and stack. Hug the knee to the nose. Step halfway, pyramid pose. So take that pyramid how you like. Straight leg or not. If you're taking that balancing challenge with me, then we'll turn our hands so the fingertips are toward the back. I'm reaching them back here, but I'm on my fingertips pretty strongly. And begin to come up onto my right toe and then hug the knee towards the other. Yeah, it's like you're at an angle. Yep. Hug it in towards your chest.
Your legs.
And then release. Yes, basically. We'll release out of that into our pistol or through our pistol squat or another way to get down to the ground. And we're coming into that tree pose, foot on the left. All right, I hope I don't forget anything this side. Lengthen, rotate, fold over the right leg, the straight leg. Begin to come upright. Here we are into our sort of, what's this called? What do I call this? There you go, y'all know where you're headed. Back down and come forward. Wild thing, our pseudo wild thing, that's right. 3 times total. This is part of our back bend here, coming into this wild thing. So allow yourself to stay there a moment, opening up. And then we'll come upright and bring that knee with us. Take it across our bodies. And first we're gonna find that super tall upright, right? Sitting on both sit bones if possible, super tall spine. We're gonna try to keep this close proximity as we reach the left hand back and then take our twist. So some of you might bring the elbow here, but I'm gonna keep my arm here so I can stay as upright as possible. You had that correct.
No.
The other leg.
The knee was right?
Yeah,
Oh.
but you twisted it. There you go. All right, as we come out and come to center, we'll first take that figure 4 leg. All right, you might be here, or we might hug it in and find the half lotus leg, or a partially half lotus. Folding over the right leg. So on this side, I should have mentioned it on the other side for you all, but on this side, my knee does not go down as readily. And sometimes I place a hand under that knee so I have something to press into. I never really want to crank and push my knee down. I want to use my leg actively to open up. We'll come out, we'll unwind, we'll bring our hands back behind us. Did I skip anything? Okay, nobody's admitting it, so I guess not, or you wanted to. When we come upright, we'll find those Baddha Konasana legs again. Tall spine. Let's hinge forward slightly, not as far as you can go, but slightly. And find your butterfly action here once you're kind of hinging forward. Good, a nice slow butterflies. I like that. That's good.
Wow, too cold to fly fast.
Maybe you're a monarch and you'd better get yourself to Mexico. We'll come upright so that we can round it down this time as if we're going to bring our forehead to our toes. Super round spine. Now check your spine. And then come upright, and here's what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to keep these legs in. We're going to try to keep them grounded, but they might float off a little bit. That's okay. As we reach out and then round it down to come all the way down. If you're going to head off your mat, yeah, you might want to scoot forward. So mine are going to start to float. Oh, I can't hold that as long as straight legs. That's okay. And here we are lying down, Supta Baddha Konasana. But we're not going to take it easy. Fingertips behind the head. We'll keep our legs like this if it's okay for you, and take some crunches up. Two more. And then stay up and pulse, pulse. And release. If you want to stay in your Baddha Konasana legs, you can. Or maybe you're going to take a long body stretch, or hug your knees into your chest, or windshield wiper your legs a little bit. Take what you think might feel nice after that. We did these bridge postures in one of our classes. We're going to do them again. We'll have the feet super wide, so super wide feet for a bridge. On an inhale, hips come up. Keep them up and pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 3, 2, 1. Release. Bring your feet in a bit. Come right back up. Pulse for 10. 3, 2, 1. Release. Bring your feet in a little bit more, but not all the way together. That's our last one. Inhale, bring it up. Pulse for 10. Release. Now the feet are going to come all the way together. Bring it up. Find your pulse. Give yourself a hug and rock side to side if you like that. We'll come all the way to standing from here, so rock and roll. Give yourself some nice momentum. Hands or no hands, right? It doesn't matter how we get up there. Kind of just do what you're planning to do. We'll make our way to standing. I think I need a little drink of water. I saw that talking. Inhale to reach your arms up overhead. On your exhale, bring your left hand to your hip, right hand to your knee. We're going to stick with the knee only, flex the foot, pull the belly in. Take that leg out to the side. And from out here, we're coming into tree. So maybe you'll slide down to make this connection, or if you're not coming all the way in, you slide up and come into the calf. Yes, let's grow some branches here. Belly in. Cactus the arms, open up that chest here in your tree. Nice job. we fall over, that's okay. It's because your yoga instructor asked you to do this crazy thing. Come back to center and ground the feet. Reach the arms up overhead. Right hand to the right hip, left fingertips to the left knee, foot flex, tall spine. Take the leg out to the side. Come into your tree posture from here. Grow your branches. Cactus those arms. Yay, yay.
Yeah.
That's right. It's time to come out, isn't it? Come on out, hands to heart center. Let's get to the back of our mat again. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale and fold forward. Halfway lift. Palm the mat, take the vinyasa of your choice. We're gonna all meet in down dog. Wave it out to plank. Bring the right leg up, three-legged plank. And then I want you to bring that leg, bend the knee, and then turn on to the outside edge of your left foot, bringing your toes on the right down so you're in your wild thing here, coming into it from plank. Nice job. Come back to plank. Of course, you're going to try that on the other side. Find a breath first. Left leg comes up. We bend the knee, come to the outside edge of the right foot as that top foot comes to the ground, and open up into your wild thing. Come back to your plank and then down dog. Ooh. When I go that slow into wild thing, that makes me work hard. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, bend and stack. Another opportunity to come into wild thing. So this time from down dog, or you could wave it out to plank and come into it from there like you did last time. Still, you have to do the same movements of coming to the outside edge, right? Come back to center, hug the knee in towards your nose, step to the top of the mat. High lunge, let's stay off the ground for a moment. Find your balance. Reach the arms up overhead, maybe cactus the arms, or sometimes I keep my hands together to open my chest. But maybe you like to cactus instead. Get a heart opener here. I almost can never look up at this empty sky and keep my balance, so. Release into your warrior two. I'm going to turn around so I'm not facing away from everyone. Peaceful warrior. Straighten the front leg, hands to your hips, outside edges of the feet parallel. Take an inhale, open the chest. Exhale and fold forward. We're going to bring fingertips to the ground, maybe in line with your toes. Halfway lift up. Exhale, fold in, keeping your hands where they are, elbows pointed straight back, head traveling down towards the ground. Yep, yep, yep. On your inhale, come part way up. Bring your hands to your hips, come all the way up. Leave your hands here. So this is in Ashtanga. We're going to do two, and then on the other side, we'll do the other two. Pull the elbows together, pull the belly in. Exhale, fold forward. Keep your hands on your hips. So a nice softness in the knees as you bring your head down toward the ground. No help from your hands this time. Pull the belly in to support you. Find your breath. Inhale as you come all the way back up to standing. And then turn your top towards the top of the mat. Take a vinyasa or simply step back to down dog. Take what's correct for your practice at this time. Left leg high, three-legged. Bend and stack to open up. Stay or come into your flip or your wild thing from here is what I really meant. Maybe you are taking flip dog, but I really meant wild thing. come back to center whenever you're ready, unwinding as gracefully as you can, and then hug the knee to the nose, step to the top of the mat. Here you are in your high lunge. Open your arms so that you come into the back bend of your choice. Cactus, I like to reach the arms instead. Gaze shift if you wish. I don't want to, so I can keep my balance. I'm gonna come back upright first and then open up into warrior two. Peaceful warrior. And then straighten the front leg. Turn outside edges parallel. So on this round, we'll interlace our fingers behind our back. Inhale to open the chest. We'll keep our fingers interlaced if possible. Exhale, fold forward, reaching the hands overhead. Real important to have some softness in the knees. This one especially, we want to hyperextend or lock our knees. We also want to hang out on our heels, so take note of where your body weight is. Shift some of that weight into the balls of your feet. And we're trying to release the arms overhead like someday they're going to touch the ground. Inhale, come all the way back upright. Nice softness in the knees using the strength of your core. Let's open the arms like a T. Hands to your hips. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, fold forward. We'll find a peace spine with our peace fingers inside the big toe, hugging them, and then inhale, part way up. Exhale, fold in, goalpost arms, head down towards the ground. Yep, that's our fourth and final Ashtanga, standing, wide leg forward fold. Something you've seen elsewhere, right? Pull the shoulder blades towards each other. Nice, Betsy, nice. Inhale, let's come part way up, and then hands to the hips. Come all the way up. We'll take our hands to the top of the mat, and then take a vinyasa or step back to your down dog. Come up onto your toes. Keep those legs as straight as you can as you tiptoe to the middle of your mat-ish, maybe a little past the middle. Let's see if we can set ourselves up right. And then begin to bend the knees so your chest is in contact with your knees. We're coming all the way down to the ground, but first we're gonna balance on our feet here in this tucked position and take a twist. This is actually the second series of Ashtanga, but what do we care? We can do whatever we want. Let's bring the left hand or arm across. So it could be hand or here, or elbow, or heart center with the hands as we come into a twist here. And we have to balance and breathe, right? This is tricky. Of course, we'll try that on the other side in 2 more breaths. So take yourself to the other side. Yep, you might have your hands on the ground for some support or not. That's up to you. Find it on the other side, and let's see if we can stay in our breath. Belly in. And then we're going to unwind and have a seat. Wide legs, seated forward fold, also in our Ashtanga series. Now, in Ashtanga, we hold on to the outside edges of the feet, but for us, I think I'll have us find a super tall upright spine. Yeah, I want to face you guys better. Okay. And then begin to walk forward with the chest reaching out in front of you. So you might stay on your hands, or you might find you've walked forward enough that you can bring your forearms to the ground. But we're going to try to keep this long spine instead of this rounded spine. If you can keep going and going and going, then feel free. Some of us will stay right where we're at. No matter where we are, let's pull our belly up in it. And take a couple of deeper breaths. Use your arms to help you come upright. Some of you know in Ashtanga we do this squirrely kind of boat pose, held wide legs. So we might hold on to the outside edges of the feet or maybe back towards the heels. And then we're somewhere on this path of straightening the legs out. If you're bent, that's okay too. We're somewhere on that path, finding our balance, pulling the belly in. Always, always, always in Ashtanga, we're working on that long and tall spine. Well, I shouldn't say always, but right now. We're balanced so well. Azita said, no, I'm not. Let's bend the knees, come out gracefully. How slowly can you come out? How much control can you keep in that core? Oh, nice job, nice job. Maybe you give yourself a little hug. And we're gonna do it again, this time holding on to peace finger, big toe. Just because, you know, we can. It makes us feel like we're doing something different, but it's kind of the same. Yep, it's those wide legs. Maybe you play around with just how wide that is. So last time when we held on to the outside edges, we don't have quite as much room. Maybe this time we play around with just how wide we can go and still have that super tall spine and still breathe. All right, some of y'all are not facing the correct way to do this. That's because I didn't plan on it. So you can turn or you cannot turn. But if you're doing this with me, you would flex your feet a lot so that your heels would be the first to come down and then you fold forward. But like, I wouldn't choose to do that onto the concrete. So, you know, I might have set you up wrong. So maybe someday I'll come down gracefully and it won't be a big flop, but right now it is. All right, let's come back upright and give our knees a hug in. We'll do a little bit of reverse action into a bit of a back bend. So a reverse tabletop, hands behind you, feet on the ground like bridge. We'll bring the hips up and the head back. That is a very clear sky. Release back down. Maybe give yourself a hug. You have the option to do that same tabletop, or you can do a reverse,
Plank?
No, it's like a wild thing, but not. I don't know why I can't keep thinking of
Reverse
this.
plank.
It's just the one hand back and the other arm overhead. And then of course you'll come down, and if you're doing one side, you'll try that on the other side. And then we'll come back down and we'll all meet in seated. Well, for the last little bit of Ashtanga crazy. Well, first we'll start this by holding on to the back of our thighs. I can grab my elbows, so that's kind of nice. I can lock myself in. But if you can't, you're gonna just hold around here, and you might hold on to your arms in some way so that you can kind of lock yourself in. And then find some balance, right? To me, that's like the hardest part. Work my core to find that. And then eventually I'm gonna straighten my legs however much they will straighten. Pointing the toes. Using those arms to really keep yourself nice and compressed. Maybe I'll gaze up at my toes. Pull my shoulder blades back and breathe. And then release just like you came in, so nice and slow like that. Releasing the arms. Second round, peace finger, big toe. We're still working towards that compression, but our legs will have to do a bit more work to keep that. I like to first find my balance here and then begin to straighten somewhere on this path. It might be right here, that's okay, right? Somewhere. Maybe a super tall spine, gazing up at my toes. Press, press, press toes into hands if you have that. Nice job. Everybody's modifications look really good. And then come out with as much grace as you went in. One more. You might take one of the first two. This is the most compressed. This time I'm going to hold on to not just the outside edges of my feet, but my heels. I'm going to cup my heels. Walk them back so I can find that balance. I'm going to try to keep hold of my heels as I straighten out, and then I want to wrap my forearms around and then straighten out as much as I can. Super compressed, right? But you might be taking one of the previous two. Ooh, I've almost lost it. I'm looking around at you guys. And release. Ooh, let's take that opposite movement again. So let's come into that tabletop. Hips up, head back. Releasing down. 2 more, same way or with one arm. Final one when you are ready. And then we'll lie all the way down on the ground. Almost time for Shavasana. Let's take a long body stretch first. We'll come into a spinal twist to end our practice today. I like to bring my feet on the ground, pick my hips up so I can move them over to the left, and then drop the knees.
Recording stopped.
Holding on to your body somewhere, or opening into a T, or straightening out your top leg and finding your foot. You can also find the bottom foot. Come into that bound twist. So lots of different options, and you all take what feels good for you at the end of your practice. Stay there a little longer if you need, or begin to transition to the other side, just taking your time. See if you can relax.
All those poor old people, man, with dementia.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah, that is pretty bad, isn't it? I bet that's very alarming.
Yes.
So if you're deepening this expression, just get there slowly and in your own time. And when you've finished with your twist, unwind, take any other stretches, long body, knees to chest, happy baby, legs straight in the air, whatever you might think of. So, something I haven't said. And then find yourself when you are ready in Shavasana. Nice engagement in that shoulder stand. Nice engagement all the way through your toes. It's 10:30, so I'm going to go ahead and call you out of Shavasana. Take the stretches and movements you like. Finding some way to be comfortable in your seated posture. Inhaling, maybe you reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Deep inhale. Stick the tongue out for lion's breath out as you exhale. Oh yeah, let's do that again. Inhale fully. Thank you all so much for joining me today on this gorgeous, gorgeous Friday morning. Thank you for sharing your practice with me, your energy with me. Namaste.
So Emily, does your attacker have to be tested for rabies or anything?
Girl.